I'm Marshall Shannon with Ministry Design Training. Welcome to our webinar tutorial today. We're going to be talking about facility audits, facility assessments, as some prefer to refer to them as. And I'm going to give you two documents that I want to review with you that are available on our website. Let me remind you, at the bottom of this video, this tutorial, you'll see a comment section. And if you have questions from this, please type them in, and we'll see those and answer them directly back to you. And probably will, every week or every 2 weeks, answer your question in a live webinar training time where we have a question and answer time to help you guys as you use our material and study it and use it to prepare your church to move ahead. Facility audits. Do you understand what we mean by audit or by an assessment? As churches and buildings have gotten older, it's become painfully aware that we need to go back before we renovate or even build new onto the building, that we need to have a clear, correct, concise, thorough understanding of the condition of our existing facilities. For instance, if you are preparing to renovate your 30,000 square foot facility and you had not been paying close attention to your responsibility to steward that facility, and you weren't quite sure what the life expectancy of all your main systems are, or what you might be required to bring up to code if you do renovate at a certain level, then you bring in a group of industry professionals, which may consist of an architect or architectural firm, engineers, might be a builder involved, and maybe some others who would come in and go through your building and inspect, both by observation and then testing. And in a simple facility audit or assessment, they're trying to give you some idea of a snapshot of where your building is today when it's done, what the life expectancy of your systems are, and to point out any particular problems that need immediate attention. For instance, they may observe mold, and you've got to treat it. They may observe asbestos, and you can't renovate until you do an abatement with it, till you treat it, till you deal with it, remove it, cover it up, something that would be legal and correct for your situation, and there's numerous situations. Or lead, that as you observe those through an audit, then you have to take a phase 2 approach to go deal with those things. The same type thought may be found when you do a phase 1 environmental, and that is where a professional walks through, looks for those 3 things: lead, asbestos, mold, and maybe anything else that might be a hazard to your environment. And then they go and bring in professionals to look at it and give you a price and a timeline and the scope of the work, the cost. And then phase 3 environmental is when they do the work and repair it, fix it, replace it. They deal with it. Well, with an audit, before you go spend money on a major renovation, you need to find out what you're dealing with. And so it's an effort to make certain that if you have major problems, that you've got decisions to make on the front end of your renovation, what the budget's going to look like, because you have thoroughly investigated your facilities. Think of another way of looking at this, is that you're preparing for heart surgery, where they give you a full, complete, thorough physical exam with all kinds of tests to make certain that you can withstand the surgery. And your building is your body, and your industry professionals are the technicians and the physicians who are going to run the test and do the inspection, and to see if your facility, your body, is strong enough to have the renovation work done. In another tutorial, I gave you a list of 5 levels of renovation. depending on which one that you're planning to do, will depend on the weight of your facility assessment. This first sheet that I am showing you is just a sampling of what might be included in a facility audit or a facility assessment, depending on what the industry professionals choose to name it. And remember that, you know, they can arrange their facility audit any way they want to. You may be not only renovating your existing facilities or trying to decide what to renovate, but you're building new facilities to go with it. And so now you've got to decide what you're going to do with your existing and what level to renovate it. And then your new building, you've got to orchestrate and coordinate both of those projects together. So depending on your context, on your particular situation, will determine at what level and what the scope of the audit will be. So here are some of the things that I provided for you to help you understand. In this table of contents, this should be second page of their report. First page might be your church name and a photograph and the industry professionals who performed the audit. And then in the table of contents, they're going to tell you what page to find the different reports on in the different areas. So they may talk about the scope of the services, any limitations to the audit, so you'll understand what they can and cannot do for you, reference documents and information, so that they're referring to different things and using professional resources to that are documentations to pull their information from or to use as a mile marker, as a reference point. They're going to look at building codes that apply to your situation, where you are and are not within building codes. One of my architect friends will do a floor plan and elevation, but a floor plan of your existing facilities to begin getting a grasp and to show you reference points of where problem spots are that they have observed. Accessibility with ADA, handicapped, in and out of your property, in and out of your buildings. Building condition narrative. They'll talk about the general condition of your building as they look at it, the age of it, when it was built, how it was built, what materials were used, what the general condition of the building is. They may put that in the front end just to begin getting you to get a grasp on how they're observing and what they're observing. General information, background, the history of the facility, all of this to help you summarize an audit of the past maintenance of the building and what the future needs will be. Then they're going to look at different systems. The building envelope is often referred to as the shell, but it's the structure, the roofs, the windows and doors. I didn't put it on here, but you've got open areas where vents, where rodents in the atmosphere, the climate can get in and out of your building that way, insects and so forth. They may put that in there, and then they're going to give you some discussion. But they're going to look at the structure of your building, roofs, windows, and doors. Then the mechanical, water and sewer, water heaters, ventilation, exhaust systems, HVAC, and going to discuss it. So you've got your mechanics. There may be other things that are involved in that as well, but that's just a general idea. Fire safety systems. If you have a sprinkler system and an alarm system for that, they're going to inspect it, make sure it's working, and so forth, and may tell you that you have to do further inspection and testing beyond this audit or assessment, because this is, in my mind, an initial assessment that's going to give you as much information and feedback and results as they can, but also recommend any further delving into or drilling into your facilities. Electrical systems. Your electrical room with electrical panels, power distribution, utilities as they come in, lighting and kitchen equipment, and then a discussion of that. And so they're looking at your electrical. Structural, S. Mechanical, M. Electrical, E. Plumbing, P. SMEPs. Structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing is dealing with the main systems of your building. And today you've got information technology and maybe some other technology that is going on in your building that can be a part of it if it's a newer building. But as we look at older buildings, they're going to be looking at these things. Interior observations. They may go through and take photographs of your walls and ceiling and vents and windows and doors and cabinets and hallways and lights, and show you areas where there are maintenance problems or it's gotten away from you, to be quite honest. And so interior observations, they'll probably do exterior observations, grounds and parking, a summary of their findings as they look at this, recommendations from those findings, and priorities of what they think you need to do first. So they're going to be looking at your budget cost estimates. Don't be surprised if they ask you for your budget of the church, so they can look at how you have budgeted your maintenance and custodial services, and trying to get a grasp on what you may need to address first, second, third. In other words, what's mission critical to the health and fitness of your facilities. They probably will give you, at the close of this, a table of appendages. And so your capital expenditure summaries, building envelope maintenance, mechanical, electrical maintenance and life cycle estimates, photographs and comments, recommended best practices for preventive maintenance. And so they may be helping you look at not only what the condition is, what the cost will be to repair and replace, and to bring everything up to proper condition, but also looking at best practices down the road for keeping your building in full good health, in good condition. So a physician, an exercise trainer, a personal coach for your health, that's what the industry professionals would be offering you with your campus, your grounds, and your buildings, so that you can keep it. And what this comes back to is the biblical stewardship of your facilities, those things entrusted to you, that you're going to keep them in good working order for your generation and the generations to come. The second document that I want to show you is a sample facility audit. I just gave you that, didn't I? Hang on just a moment. And this is a sample facility audit, 29 pages long. My good friend, architect Jeff Shear with Clark Patterson, architectural firm. You won't know this church. I don't know the church here, but they just put together a sample so that we could put it in your hands to show you an idea. You look here at the table of contents, building codes. You have to obey them. If a code is adopted after you have built your building, you're grandfathered in. But once the building code is done and you go to bring your facility up and repair it, depending on how much work you do and what work you do, the building codes may require you to bring your whole building up to the current code. Any new buildings you have. Now, the individual local governments adopt what they want to of the international building codes and national building codes, uniform building codes, and so forth. And then they can add their own particular codes in there. And it's done regionally depending upon the environment, meaning the climate and the weather and the conditions that you live in. Arizona is going to be different than New Hampshire. You have an international building codes, but they're applied differently depending on the climate. You have different climates there. And so as you go through this, they've given you in this report dealing with your codes, accessibility, and some kind of narrative about the condition of your building, mechanical systems, electrical systems, and then appendages A, and on it goes. And so as you go through this and flip through this, you're going to find some idea of what an industry professional might talk to you about, might deal with, and the history of it, and the size of it, and the layout of it, and the floor plans, and the different components of it as you look through here, that they're giving you all of this information to make certain that they have understood what you have and the condition of your facilities, and then they'll summarize it and give you this. Now, this is just the first 4 or 5 pages of this. And so with this one particular building happened to be in Georgia, that it's giving you all kinds of information, going through area by area, building by building, and you can ask an audit team to not do your auditorium, but do your educational and recreational facility, your family life center, or your fellowship hall, your administration, or your maintenance building, or some other kind of ministry building that you have on your property. You don't have to have them audit everything, but they're going to go give you and get a grasp of how your building was built, what materials it's made of, what is in there, what the bandwidth of your building is, how it's fitting your current ministry, and you're pulling together all of this information to help you make good decisions about your future stewarding of your facilities. And so as we go down through this, you're seeing here that they're getting the floor plans, the sizes, they're telling you what's there and not there. And let me skip down here a little further to your mechanical. You got a facility study here of your central plant, air handling systems in the fellowship hall and the different buildings, as this particular church had named these buildings, plumbing systems, hot water, fire sprinkler, giving you the narrative of what's there and what the life expectancy is, and maintenance ideas. So these different ideas or things that we told you in the outline, this is just an example of what a report might look like. And then there's photos. And as you go through it, showing you different problems that are there in order to help you pull it all together to get a grasp on what needs to be done. Well, I hope this is helpful to you as you review both these documents, because if you haven't done an audit of your existing facilities, and if you don't notice and take care of the small things, they turn into large things. So failing to keep up with, say, the caulking in your windows, outside, exterior, and you fail to keep up or replace it on a regular basis and treat it, that can end up letting moisture in and rot away your windows and do other damage. And so you take care of the small things, such as the photo that you're looking at here, the unfinished sheetrock showing at the window jamb that needs to be addressed. The size of these bathroom doors here, they're not minimum 32 inches. You've got a problem here for upgraded panic hardware, the problem there. So on and on, they'll point these things out to show you areas where you need to catch up to your maintenance. Well, I trust this has been helpful. I'm Marshall Shannon with Ministry Design Training. And if you have questions, please fill in the comments or email me directly, and we'll help you.